Hi, folks. So, welcome at a new Windows in the Cloud episode about new feature Windows 365 Frontline. And I'm super excited about this topic because we have two guests from the product group here, Sam and Colby, to explain everything you would like to need to know about this new feature. So, before we start, if you have any questions regarding this topic, feel free to post them in the link or in the chat below here. And with that, as I said before, I'm super excited to have Sam and Colby here. So, let's ask them and introduce themselves. So hi Sam, how are you doing?
Thank you, Krishan. Sam Tolamat. Really excited to join here from Boston and talk to you about Windows 365 Frontline.
Yeah, it's really great to have you, and you're dialing in from Boston, so it's a really hybrid kind of interview here. And Colby, you're dialing in from San Francisco. So Colby, can you tell a little bit about yourself and what you're doing?
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, Christian. It's great to be here. Yeah, I'm Colby. I'm a PM on the Windows 365 team, and I was responsible for delivering the end user and reporting experiences for Windows 365 Frontline. So, super excited to talk to you today from San Francisco.
Thanks, Sam, and it's really great to have you and have you both here on this episode. And as I said in the intro, I'm super excited about Windows 365 Frontline and how it enables new customers to create new experiences with our product. So can you explain a little bit what Windows 365 Frontline is all about to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, we released Windows 365 2 years ago, and our first target market has been primarily information workers, people who are using their Cloud PC full-time, and typically that Cloud PC is available for them to use anytime they would like. And some of the feedback that we've heard from customers over the last year is, hey, we have a lot of other types of workers in the organizations. Employees who are shift workers, who work around the clock, part-time employees, frontline workers. We want something that allows us to enable those employees with Cloud PCs and understand that they may have a different usage pattern, so they may not need a Cloud PC full-time. So Windows 365 Frontline is a way for these workers, frontline workers, shift workers, part-time workers, to access a Cloud PC only for the duration of their shift, allowing the customer to essentially enable broader access to Windows 365. And I'm excited to share how we do that today.
That's really amazing and unlocks lots of potential for different kind of scenarios you just called out. Does this mean that users will get the same Windows personal experience they are familiar with Windows 365 Enterprise as well with this Frontline offering?
Yeah, absolutely. So a huge goal for us was, how do we make sure that we create something that enable customers to have the same administration from an Intune perspective, but also the same end user experience and a similar end user experience where the employee has a personalized Cloud PC that is theirs. They can log into it and then get productive because they know exactly where their apps are, where they've left off and saved their work the last day. So in this model that we're introducing, each employee is going to continue having their own Cloud PC. The key difference is that one is the customer and the organization is able to essentially buy a certain number of licenses that allows them to provide access based on the number of active sessions that need to be available. So let me explain to you a little bit how that works. So let's say I am an organization that has a customer service call center, and I have about 30 workers that work around the clock, rotating shifts. And I figured out that maybe about 9 of these workers are actually on at once. And so in this case, what I would do is I would buy a certain number of licenses that is equal to the number of, or a little bit more than the number of users that I will have on at once. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and buy, let's say, 10 licenses. And that is going to be my 10 active sessions. And it'll allow me to go and provision up to 30 Cloud PCs for all of these users with 10 of them on at once. So as one user comes in, the license is used by that user, their Cloud PC is powered on for the shift, and then as they disconnect at the end of their shift, which we will show in the end user demos later, we will release the license and allow the end user to essentially save their work and make it so that another employee can log in. So any of those 30 workers can log in, just that 10 of them can be on at once. And as you can see, that is a very flexible model, no scheduling required. The customer does not have to go and say, hey, these are the users who are going to be coming in during this time. Each one of these users will get their Cloud PC, and they'll have their own experience. It's just that we will only keep 10 on at once and we'll power off the rest automatically.
Well, that's really amazing and really a game changer in terms of offering Windows 365 for like shift worker scenarios here. So thanks for sharing that. I really think this helps clarifying the kind of use case and where it fits best in terms of creating that beneficial kind of set of license offering as well as experiences for end users, as well as the IT admin, which pretty much, as you said, is kind of the same experience as just provisioning a cloud PC. And I think that's pretty cool. Like creating a better, more lean, efficient offering for shift worker kind of scenarios or shared like PC scenarios, with as well the identical personal Windows experience as well as the IT admin experience. So I'm very curious, like, can you show me from the IT admin experience how it looks and feels just real quick to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me show you what it looks like to set up Frontline Cloud PCs. So first of all, it's, as I said before, similar experience in terms of management. So you can go to your familiar Create Provisioning Policy tab here and start, and you will see that there is a new option, License Type, Enterprise and Frontline. And so in this case, I am going to just write Windows 365 call center workers as a test. And then I will select the license type. It's going to be Frontline. Everything else stays the same. If you're using Azure AD Join or the Microsoft hosted network, you're going to want to pick your region as you usually do. And if you want to enable Go Sign On, you can do that. So you can hit next afterwards. And again, the imaging configurations are going to stay the same. So here I have a selected gallery image, and I can select the configurations in the provisioning policy. This is where the experience looks a little different. So you will find here that you can actually add the Cloud PC size directly from the experience. So in this example that I gave you, let's say I bought 10 licenses, you will see those 10 licenses in the Microsoft Admin Center, but here we will automatically translate them into Cloud PCs for you, and you can assign them directly to the group that you want to assign to. So you don't have to actually assign a license to a user like you do with Windows 365 Enterprise. You purchase them, and then you go directly to provisioning policy to assign these users Cloud PCs. So in my case, I've already created a group, and I called it the Customer Service Representative group. And for you, you would essentially create a group of the users that you want to give Cloud PCs to. In the example I gave, it's 30 users. You'll have all these members in this group. And then after that, you will select the Cloud PC size that you want to provide to them. And so you'll see here that I have only one member, but you'll see whatever number of members that you have that you've added. And then you can see that whatever Cloud PCs your company has purchased, in this case, the example is 28128, but if you have purchased other types of Cloud PCs, they will show up here that are Frontline, different sizes. And you'll see that you have the number of Cloud PCs that are available for you to provision directly. So you'll select that, and as soon as you select it, what we will do is essentially, when you create the provisioning policy, we'll assign each one of these users a Cloud PC up to the number of Cloud PCs that are available or the members that are in the group. And then you create the policy. So once you've created the provisioning policy, as you saw, you'll be able to actually see which users will get a Cloud PC based on that policy that you've created. And so here, this is my provisioning policy. I can go here and I can see that I have one Cloud PC and the users that will get it. And I just put myself here in the example. is myself. So whatever number of users that you have here that are in this group, you will be able to see that they will be receiving a Cloud PC based on this policy. So a couple of things I want to highlight here. As I said, no need to license the user prior. You're doing it here directly. And because of that, we have a mechanism for you to see who are the users who are going to get the Cloud PC. And finally, if you've noticed in the provisioning policy, you're able to actually put multiple groups and assign them Cloud PC size. So in this Windows 365 Frontline model, you could give a user multiple Cloud PCs. Myself, I could be in this group, and then I could be in another group. And if you're targeting to me in both groups a Cloud PC for Frontline, I will be able to receive 2 Cloud PCs, which is something that we've worked to enable, as we've got a lot of customers who are interested in that use case.
Well, this was like a great experience, and to be honest, it looks almost identical to how you configure Windows 365 Cloud PCs, just like in general, like when you use the normal kind of license separated from Frontline. So what about managing these Cloud PCs? Like, can I do remote actions just like the same as normal Cloud PCs as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are obviously difference. And I think the core difference that we've talked about when we started this conversation is we're powering on these Cloud PCs when the user is coming at the start of their work, and then we're powering them off as they disconnect. And so management wise, it's still one-to-one, meaning each Cloud PC has one user assigned to it. So you can assign policy, apps, settings, just the same way you do today. And as you said, it's fairly similar. That was a goal. That was a design goal. We wanted to make it really easy for the admins to be able to provision and set up these Cloud PCs. So you can see that if I have a Cloud PC here, I will be able to actually enable the same remote actions, whether it's being able to sync or restart, restore, or provision. One thing that, as I said, is different, that these Cloud PCs will be powered off by default when the user is not using them. And so you'll be able to actually be able to apply any of these remote actions, and they will initiate and be applied if the Cloud PC is on immediately, and if it is off as soon as the Cloud PC is on. An additional thing that we're working on is actually allowing you to see the power state. Is it on? Is it off? Specifically for Frontline Cloud PCs, and making it possible for you in cases where you may have a critical update or anything like a situation where you want to power on the Cloud PC prior to the user coming in. We're adding some remote actions there for powering on and powering off these Cloud PCs, just in case there's something that you need to be able to do, such as ending a user session and saying, okay, this user has been active. I want to power off their Cloud PC. They're not supposed to be active. So there are some additional capabilities that we're adding here. One last thing that I will say is we've worked really hard one of the things that we've heard feedback from our customers on during the private preview on this is, hey, how do we make sure that since these Cloud PCs are off a lot of the time, that users are not disrupted at the start of their shift with something like an update. And so we did a lot of research, and we found that the reboot experience is the thing that could happen at the beginning of the shift that could disrupt the user. And what we've done is we've created some recommendations for you that you can find them in our docs on how you can set up Windows updates for business to optimize for these Frontline Cloud PCs. And what we do is, as soon as the user disconnects for their shift, if there's a reboot that is pending, we will apply that reboot before we power off the machine so that we can reduce the chances that this user will be interrupted during the beginning of their shift the next day.
Well, that sounds great. And if I'm a customer and I'm interested in knowing how much licenses I do need for my organization, like what do you recommend there?
So great question, Christian. I think one of the things that we've heard from customers is a lot of the time the organization for things like a call center worker scenario or a customer service rep, they know the number of employees that are working at once. And so based on that, that number is what they need to estimate what is the number of licenses they need to purchase. So let's say they have, 100 workers working at once, but 300 in total. The number that we would recommend purchasing is 100 plus 2 licenses, just to be safe, so that if there's a sudden increase of users, that they can accommodate that. But obviously, one of the things that we've heard from customers is we don't always know that number, and we want to make sure that we keep track of that number to make sure that we have enough licenses for our user base. So there are a lot of scenarios where the worker might be part-time worker or information worker, and so it's a little harder to estimate what's the right number of active sessions. And for that reason, we built a report specifically targeted to frontline Cloud PCs and to allow the organization to understand what's the usage in terms of the maximum number of active connections. So let me take you to that quickly so I can show you how it works. Here you can see in the devices, all devices experience, we have a tab for Cloud PC performance. At the moment, we are hosting this special Frontline Cloud PC report underneath this tab, and we are looking to potentially change it here. So you can click on View Reports, and then you'll see that there is the report that is applicable to all Cloud PCs, but there is a report specifically for Frontline Cloud PCs. And on this report, there are a couple of different data points that I want to highlight. First, the concurrency model that we've talked about here is all based on the Cloud PC size. So if you bought 100 of 2 vCPU for 128, your concurrency or number of active sessions that you can have at once is going to be 100 for that 2 vCPU. And if you buy a different number for a different Cloud PC size, it will change. So here you can actually see, based on the types of Cloud PC sizes that you've purchased, what is the usage. Now the time span can be 7 days or 28 days. And you can see here that we show you for that specific day, what's the number of connected Cloud PCs that were connected, and what is the maximum that could be connected at once. And we also show you this trend line that should allow you over the last 30 days to see, are you close to hitting your limit, and have you reached that limit? And based on this report will allow you to be able to estimate better. If you're close to reaching this limit, it's probably a time where you want to purchase more licenses to make sure that all the users have Cloud PCs. And we're also adding, beyond public preview functionality that we're rolling out, some alerting functionalities here that will allow you to set up in our alerting framework an alert so that if you're closer to your maximum usage, that you can actually receive an alert directly so you can purchase more licenses. With that report, I think a lot of our private preview customers that we've discussed this with found that it enables them to better estimate how much licenses should be purchased and understand better the patterns of using the Frontline Cloud PCs and how users are using them. Now that folks have had a chance to see the admin and the reporting experience, I think it would be awesome to get a little bit of an idea of how the end user experience looks like. And so I'll transition it off to Colby. She will be able to do that demo.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sam. Hi, everybody. It's Colby, and I'm here to give you a quick walkthrough of what the Windows 365 Frontline end user experience would look like for any of your Shift, Frontline, call center, any of these types of employees that would be using these Cloud PCs. As we can see here, I've navigated to the Windows 365 end user portal at windows365.microsoft.com. I can see my Frontline Cloud PC here with the tag on the Cloud PC showing to me as an end user that this is the type of Cloud PC I have and that I should disconnect when I'm done to free up a license for another user to use while doing their Frontline or Shift work. Now, I have chosen to navigate to the web portal today to access my Cloud PC, but I'd like to note that end users can also navigate to the Windows 365 Windows native app to access their Frontline Cloud PCs as well. They can feel free to do either of those. Now, I can also see the name of my Cloud PC, which I can rename. I can see other information about the device, and I can see the device actions that I can take as needed. Now, I'm going to go down here and click Open in Browser to start my user session and get ready for my shift or frontline work. My Cloud PC is loading up for me. I'll choose my in-session settings and click Allow. I'll be reminded once again that I need to log off and disconnect when I'm done. And then my Cloud PC is getting ready and connected for me. I enter my credentials, and we're ready to go. I can see here another reminder to end my session when I'm done and close my browser or tab or disconnect. I can close this when I'm done viewing it and know the information well enough. I can also collapse the toolbar up here if I need. And I'm actively in my Windows session on my Windows 365 Frontline Cloud PC. I can navigate to any apps I'd like to use to do my work today. And then once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and today I'll choose to click Disconnect to disconnect and end my session. And I'm done with my work for the day. And another shift or frontline worker can go ahead and use a Frontline Cloud PC. I hope that this demo was simple, easy to understand, and illustrative of the complete end-to-end Windows 365 end user experience for Windows 365 Frontline.
Well, this was a really amazing episode, and it's a real game-changing product, Windows 365 Frontline. So thanks, Sam and Colby, for jumping on here and explain our audience's like the IT admin and end user experience. So Sam and Colby, how can people stay in touch with you or follow you on LinkedIn?
Definitely feel free to add me on LinkedIn or follow me on LinkedIn. Sam Tolamat, first name, last name.
And you, Colby?
Yeah, feel free to follow me or add me on LinkedIn as well. My name is Colby Hanley on there, and I should be easy to find. So thank you so much, everybody.
Great. And thank you as well, the audience, whether you're a recurring visitor or as well a new one. Thanks for watching. Go to aka.ms/Windows in the Cloud for all our previous episodes as well. So thank you for watching and hope to see you next time. Thank you.